Alright guys, this is Nerd McFly, and I'm here to give you my Need for Speed The Run review. I'm just gonna do pretty simple, quick review like I did with Resistance 3. I'm gonna go over the story, the pros and cons, the replayability, and then just kind of an overall summing up what I feel about the game. I will give you some numbers because some people like to hear like a number and not really just review, so that may help out some people as well. So basically, I'm just going to start out with this general storyline. You play as Jack. Basically, it's an epic race from the Golden State to the Empire State, and Jack is racing for his life. Basically, he battles for his life basically at every turn. He's trying to get out of this whole situation he has set up with the mob that they're basically trying to kill him. So he has a friend named Sam who basically steps in and says to him, "Look, I can help you out. So just run this race, win it, you get some cash, and I'll take care of the mob problem for you." And that's how you get into this whole situation. So you're basically thrust into this race across the country. Here's some pros of the game. The graphics, the Frostbite and the Black Box did a pretty good job with the graphics. For the most part, they're pretty. They're nice, very detailed, somewhat with the car damage, with the cars in general. Very good looking cars. The scenery is something that is very beautiful, even though as you're racing, you really can't take it in. But if you really take a chance to look at it, if you're just watching the walkthrough that I did or anything like that, you can see the scenery is very well put together. They put thought into it. It's very clean, very nice. Something else that I really enjoyed about this game is the push button action and the out of the car action sequences that you do get in this game, which basically made it a lot different than any other Need for Speed that's out there. Basically, this just kind of took a detour from the usual Need for Speed games that are basically all about the car and really took it to a whole new level with adding a kind of a more detailed storyline and gave this push button action sequences that kind of brought the game to life a little bit better. They enhanced the storyline in doing the push button action, also just giving you an actual story and not really making it all about the racing. I love that they forced you into different cars. There are different stages in this race where you are forced to leave your car and you're forced to choose from 3 or 4 of the different cars. I think that's awesome because usually when you're racing in a Need for Speed game, more than likely either you're customizing one car all the time, or you're just stuck in the same car. I think some people just stay in the same car the whole race. Where in this case, you have to change, and I think that's refreshing to me. Where you're just getting used to one car and you may be thrust into a different car. That's awesome. I love that this is different, like I said, than other Need for Speeds. If you're playing this, you will know exactly what I mean. If you're watching, then you can see as well that the story is a little more focused. The voice acting was well done. Jack, Sam, they were very well cast. It wasn't overacted. For the little talking scenes that you did have, it was very well put together. Very thought out. Very well selected characters. The track concepts themselves were very well done. There were different highway races. There were times we were going through canyons and mountains and deserts, and it all was very cool. You know, the desert, you had dust storms. In a certain part in Maryland, I think it was, or Pennsylvania, there was an autumn feel to it, and it has like leaves blowing. And there was one particular track that I loved, which was this Blast Mountain scene with the avalanche. That was the most epic racing I've ever done, honestly. It was so intense. The track was well set up. It was just so intense. It was amazing. It was beautifully done. It was just well put together in general, and I just had to say that I'm so appreciative of them putting some thought into some of these tracks and the little fine details that really made these tracks fun to race and intense to play. A couple pros would be the multiplayer aspect, which you usually get with most racing games. Also, they have a challenge series where you can do like 20,000. I don't know, it's not 20,000 literally, but once you beat the game, you unlock basically every challenge series there is. Plus, I pre-ordered, so I got a couple other ones. So you do have a lot of challenge series, so you can go back and do these challenge series ones that they're just different challenges that you complete in the different stages of the race. Also the variety of race types throughout the story mode, like the checkpoint races, or the gained position races, or the rival one-on-one races. They have different concept race for every different concept map. So that's fun and refreshing as well. It throws you a little bit of curveball, and it was just a lot of fun just being able to do these different races on every stage. As far as the cons of the game, okay, first off, the lack of cars, in a sense that this is a Need for Speed. So everyone wants to see the cars. It's usually always about the cars, and in this one they kind of detoured from that. So there was a lack of cars, I felt. The lack of customization is something that is very disappointing. In the story mode, you really can't customize this car at all. It kind of sucks, actually. It's something that I wish they would have changed. They let you stop at these gas stations to switch your car. When you stop at the gas station, you should be able to change your color. You should be able to up the engine, put spoilers on, and do aftermarket equipment, all that kinds. You can do anything. All you can do is change your car, and that's it. So the lack of customization is something that I think deterred a lot of people from getting this game and kind of upset them, because that need to be more attention needed to be placed on the cars. I felt that they tried so hard to make it story, and gain a new audience that they kind of put the middle finger up to some of the people who love the actual Need for Speed, which is all about customization and being able to take your cars to the next level. And I kind of felt like it needed to be more balanced. You know, give me the story, but also keep the customization in the car and the focus on the cars there as well. So they need to definitely work out, when they do a second one, work out balancing more. Give me the story, but also let me have all the things I loved about Need for Speed prior to this game as well. Another thing, the glitches. Disappearing trucks, like the magnet rails, where you felt like you could be completely in the middle of the road and automatically your car just kind of is sucked to one side of the road for no apparent reason. Invisible prims that cause damage to the car, that the phantom crashes, things like that. Like, those things should have been worked out. It was just, and I played a lot of Need for Speed games, but in this one I felt there was more glitches than there was in previous ones. I don't know if that was because attention wasn't much attention was not paid to it, or what. I don't really know what it was, but there were little things in here that kind of irked me. And the invisible prims and the phantom crashes is one of the main two things that really kind of bothered me a lot. Because that did happen not once, 2 or 3 times, but quite a bit. And it kind of pisses you off when you're in the middle of a race and you crash into something that really isn't there. The handling. The handling should have been more balanced throughout. You go from an easy car to a normal car, and there's a significant learning curve. It shouldn't be the case. There was like 4 or 5 different 4 or 5 different handling differences in this race, and they all were like, there was a lot of gaps in consistency. It needed to be more consistent with the handling from car to car. Again, and also something else that kind of bothered me. They gave me story, but they didn't give me enough. You know, the cutscenes were in there, but they were far and few between. There wasn't a lot of story given. There wasn't a lot of backup story given. So I'm still kind of left in the loop as to what is all going on. I felt like it needed to be more story. They didn't give me enough, and I'm a little disappointed with that as well. I wanted more depth in the story, so I wish they would have included that as well as up in the cars. I mean, honestly, if they could have found the perfect match between story and car, this game would have been awesome. This game would have been better than it was. Something else that is a little bit of a con for me is the Frostbite engine, the lighting. If you played Battlefield 3, then you know it's kind of similar to that, where the sun is like glaring in your face. And there are times in this race where you're racing straight in, it's like you're racing straight into the sun, and the sun is blasting you in the face. And the sun glare can be so, just crazy that you can't see anything. And that's something that should have been tweaked a little bit and worked on a little bit as well. All right, now I want to get into the replayability of the game. This game is somewhat replayable in the sense that you have your multiplayer, so you can go on there and compete against your friends and everything like that. And you also have the challenge series, so you're going to want to go and do that. The biggest thing I would say that really adds to replayability is the fact that you probably will want to go back and play this game again using different cars in different sections of the race. Playing the game for the first time, you might not know exactly what car works best in what situation, but once you've played it once, you can pretty much go back and say, okay, well, I need to use a tuner in this section of the race. I need to use a muscle car in this section of the race. I need to use an exotic in this section of the race. And it will make your playing experience a lot more enjoyable, I feel. Also, they're coming out with DLCs for this. There's already where you can buy the challenge series, the ones that you didn't get pre-ordering them. So they're really trying to make this a game replayable for people to go out and get it and enjoy it. And I do think that's an effort that is that's well done. So it is somewhat replayable. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna do the challenge series for you guys, so that'll be up soon. But so yeah, it's pretty replayable. It's pretty replayable. You know, it really depends on how much you enjoy the main story. And I'm just going to cover now just overall, just to give you a quick few thoughts overall about the game. Like I said, it's a departure from the usual Need for Speed game. So immediately it's something different. And that's really what intrigued me from the beginning to get this game, because I saw it and it was like I was watching a movie. I felt like I was watching Wanted at one point. And even when you're driving down to Chicago, in the middle of Chicago, you feel like that. I felt like that in part of this game. So it's definitely a departure, and that really made it intriguing to me to want to buy this game and play this game. It is fun to play. It gives you a different feel. If you're unsure about this game, you need to rent it first. I would say rent it first. I wouldn't say just go out and buy the game. It's definitely not one I would say, oh yeah, you go and buy this game. Rent it if you're you're a little unsure about it, and play it a little bit and then decide from there. I bought the game. I'm happy I bought it. I enjoyed it. It's a game that's lots of fun with varying moments of frustration. There are definitely times in this game where you can be frustrated as hell and want to just throw your controller around, because it is so unbalanced in some parts of it. The consistency is just so off. Sometimes it's frustrating, but like I said, I enjoyed it, and they put forth a good effort. I feel like if they really focus more on making it more balanced game in general for the second one, it will be amazing. And I would say I would give this maybe anywhere from a 3.8 to a 4 out of 5, and a 4 maybe pushing it. I would say more on the 3.8 side, because there's still a lot of things that can be fixed. Like I said, if the customization was there, then the game would be a lot better. But the customization, the lack thereof, really is disappointing. Really was disappointing. But overall, a very good game. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Like I said, I'm gonna put up the Need for Speed challenge series. I'm gonna start posting those sporadically, randomly, for you guys. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. That was my review of Need for Speed The Run, and this is Nerd McFly signing out. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm just gonna do pretty simple, quick review like I did with Resistance 3. I'm gonna go over the story, the pros and cons, the replayability, and then just kind of an overall summing up what I feel about the game. I will give you some numbers, because some people like to hear like some cash and I'll take care of the mob problem for you, and that's how you get into this whole situation. So you're basically thrust into this race across the country. Here's some pros of the game. The graphics, the Frostbite and the Black Box did a pretty good job with the graphics. Battles for his life basically at every turn. He's trying to get out of this whole situation he has set up with the mob that they're basically trying to kill him. So he has a friend named Sam who basically steps in and says to him, "Look, I can help you out. So just run this race, win it, and you get." Alright guys, this is Nerd McFly, and I'm here to give you my Need for Speed The Run review. A number, not really just review, so that may help out some people as well. So basically, I'm just going to start out with this general storyline. You play as Jack. Basically, it's an epic race from the Golden State to the Empire State, and Jack is racing for his life, basically.